retail section that we are going to develop. So we're going to have one unit at the bottom, and if you were doing just plain residential, you don't have to worry about it. All you have to do is select 0. But since we are doing this as a tutorial to explain the capabilities of this application, I will show you how the commercial section works. So we are right here. So we were looking at, in the previous video, we were looking at this section right here. So let's just collapse that and open up the commercial and retail section, and let's just zoom right into the commercial section. So under commercial section, the way it actually works in commercial, in order to determine the end value of what you're gonna be selling, that retail premises or office premises or any kind of commercial premises, is by the amount of rent that it can actually bring in. And you capitalize that value. So we've got average net lettable area per unit. So let's say we're only developing one unit, and the going rate in that area, we know, sorry, not the going rate, the total square meterage or the square feet area for that premises, whether it's retail, office, or any kind of commercial premises. So let's say in this scenario, it's about 175 square meters. It's a small shop, and it's 175 square meters, and that's what we are going to go with. And the average rental rate per meter square in that area that I've done my research, I've found out, I've called a few agents and figured out, you know, in order, if you want to rent something here, your the going rent over there is going to be about $275 a square meter, let's say. Then this will calculate a gross income for you, but we can only capitalize the net rent. We can't capitalize the gross rent. So there has to be certain outgoings in that area. I know when you lease out a commercial property, everything is paid for by the tenant, but there are certain outgoings that you need to deduct from the rent that's coming in. So again, we have two options. If you know the exact amount, you can put in 4,500, for example, for that unit. This is for the whole year. So again, it's going to highlight and give me an error. It's giving me an error because I've got 7% here and I've got a dollar value right here. And what it wants me to do is select either or. So what I'm going to do is delete that and leave those costs at about, leave that as 0 and leave those costs in at about 7%. That way I know that I'm allowing 7% of the cost of the total rent that's coming in as outgoings, and that is all I really need to keep into account. So if I've got 7%, if you think 3,000 per unit is going to be a little bit less, because that would include your landlord insurance and certain council rates and charges that you need to pay, or property taxes that you need to pay to your local government. So that if you think this is a little bit too low, you can go up and change that percentage to 8%, and that way it gets calculated as, but this is the outgoing, but that means that the net rent that'll come into your pocket is going to be 44,000. Now you need to figure out a capitalization rate. Now again, I can't get into all this theory of what a capitalization rate is. If you want to find out what that is, you can opt in for the optional training, which gets into a lot of detail about what everything is at. So you select your capitalization rate here. So normally it's about 5-7%. It could be different in your area, so you need to figure that out. So let's say we put 5% at the time being, and it does the calculation for you and gives you the sale value for that retail premises. This section here gives you your project GRV or the total sales. So this is basically telling you, if you were to develop your residential and commercial, your total sales are going to be, this is the per unit amount, and then this is for the entire project. So we'll get into development costs in the next video.